What's going on, gamers? Welcome back to another First Descendant video, and I wanted to talk about why First Descendant is in a really good spot to succeed, kind of go over what's coming, what the devs been talking about, my experience of playing the game, some pros and cons of the game, and some really cool changes that I think the devs could make with this content. I mean, easy, simple stuff. We're going to start it off with a banger here and just talk about two simple fixes, and then as I keep going, I'll keep blabbering on about this. One thing right here, we all know that we would love to just come here and create, oh, we got that afterglow cooking. We know that we would love to just come here and be able to craft a crystallization catalyst. As you see here, I got a lot of them. I've been farming, but why can't we build more than one of these at a time, or energy activators one at a time? They just take so long to craft. I feel like we don't have to do unlimited amounts, but man, just like 3 or 2 of these and 5 of these at once, because when people sign on to the game, the first thing you want to do is worry about resetting your weapon, juicing it up like this, or juicing up your character. And I feel like when you know that you can only make one catalyst in 8 hours or one energy activator in 36 hours, it's like crazy. So like it could be less, but something like that could be implemented in the store or in the game to just make it so much easier. Now I know people would be like, well, Clyde, that would take away from people actually swiping their cards and skipping the process. Yes, but you got to throw some leeway in there. Number 2, the problem I've come into a problem with, I can't have 2 separate weapons. So we all know that Eternal Willpower is one of the best weapons you can have in the game, hands down the best AR. Well, I want to make 2 separate builds, right? But the problem is that this is one build that I was working on, and I'm going to add some other mods here. But what if I want to build into crit damage on one setting, but on the third setting, I can't build a different weapon for like weak points because I have to pay attention to what symbols are socketed. A good weapon to make this argument on is the Python. This is my Python that's built into weak point damage that I use on my Glay, because weak point damage is, you know, this weapon works with my alt because of the RPM, sharp precision shot, and weak point damage. So my idea today, what if you socket all 10 slots? What if it turns your weapon into a gold weapon? Not a Destiny reference, by the way, but you prestige the weapon. Once you've slotted every single socket on a weapon, you've worked your butt off, you put in the time, you've grinded it up. Why can't these boxes turn into golds? And then you can slot whatever you like for different settings so that it could bring more build diversity. Because right now, if I wanted to make a different Python, I would have to resocket the mods, change it just for that character, and then I'd lose my Python for my Glay. Stuff like that could be definitely huge. Another idea I had that I wanted to go over, boss battles. Okay, it's nice that we can just start up a hard mode boss battle, but we all know that farming these bosses over and over and over on hard mode, if you don't have people to play with, matchmaking could be pain, but also target farming. It's very hard to get pieces like this. Like for my build, I wanted max MP and MP recovery in combat. You're looking for certain stats. I think with these boss fights, it'd be a really cool idea if we could tune up the difficulty a little bit, just for like super ending hard gamers end game, and being able to do stuff like this. You're able to target farm the patterns, but you're also able to add these modifiers. You could add these modifiers on the boss fights and target farm the red mods you're looking for, just giving the player base an easier way to go grind it, because someone's told me in chat that they actually farmed the Frostwalker 26 times for a bionic fuel mod for the bunny. Now, that's just how it is in the game, right? Low drop chance. It happens. But giving players initiative to play something with more difficult content to reward them more might be a good idea. Now, again, some people would say, well, Clyde, I'm not even on the hard mode boss fights yet. I wouldn't be able to do that. That's okay. So that's kind of why the devs probably didn't add that feature, so I get it. One more good idea that I wanted to point out, Descendants. You should be able to have more Descendants. As you see here, I'm going to hide my camera. Only being able to unlock 13 because of where I'm at is cool, but I shouldn't have to purchase more slots. I should be able to play these other classes and unlock them as I please, and it would bring more player base and more initiative to keep grinding the game, in my opinion. So that's kind of like a no-no. So yeah, let's talk about the devs for a moment. They're so interactive with the community. Dev blog posts, Twitter updates, patches, what's upcoming, saying how they're not going to nerf anything. They know that like a one-shot Glay mod is module swapping, loadout swapping in the game to get that one shot. They want to patch that, but all the other broken stuff like, you know, Glade GLs and Lepic one-shotting bosses and these other weapons and all these loadouts, they don't want to nerf stuff because they don't want to take away from the community, which is an absolute dub, because working so hard grind on a gun or a Descendant in this game, and then knowing that it could be taken away could really dishearten players from making that grind and just going, well, I seen the video, I seen this build, I don't want to build it because they might nerf it. Another reason why this game is in such a good place is because showing these drop rates, yes, some people say, well, Clyde, you know, if you wanted that perforator blueprint, I was grinding for this today, took me 40 tries, that ain't 10%, it's more like 3. I get that, but what I've noticed in my playthrough so far, I'm not even trying to get ultimate Lepic anymore, and it's given me 11 stabilizer blueprints, you know, and it's giving you the crystallization catalyst when you're not even trying, or an ultimate VS code. Like, the game always wants to give you different drops when you're not even trying. And that's what I've told people today, like, grind for ultimate weapons, like your afterglows, your enduring legacy machine guns, your ultimate characters. While you're doing these, you're going to simply end up getting stuff that you either wanted or stuff for down the road. Access info tab, this is one of the best things you can ever have in a game. It tells you the modules, even if you own them all, or the stuff you don't own. If you're looking for something, if you're like, hey, I want to go grind this machine gun, Clyde said it's good, how do I get the blueprint? You literally just hit it and it tells you where to go. Also, you can just type in the search bar, you can type in the gun you're going for or whatever setup you want. Entering legacy, this is going to give you all the stuff for it, and it just tells you, hey, if you do this, the synthetic fiber is a 32% drop rate. Hands down, one of the best things I could ever ask for in a game is an access info tab like this. So Dubs tells players how to get the stuff, where to get it, what mod you need. It's all right in front of you. What's nice about these builds too is that people can always have opinions. You know, I uploaded my Glay build that uses blood and iron, and now massive sanguification is a big hit, and people are like, hey Clyde, why won't you run this? I'm like, hey, my build runs blood and iron. If you want to run this, you can. The end game in this is just the possibilities. You can either buff your teammates, you can do damage, you can do less damage but stay alive, you can go glass cannon, one-shot bosses. The absolute grind, like, just looking at my Lepic right now, like the hard grind that I put into this, you know, to get this gold reactor I just got, the attacking a Colossus and skill critical hit damage. This reactor probably took me over 10 hours to grind, and the feel of that, to get that drop, you're just like, man. And that's why I grinded out the ultimate Lepic. Yes, I swiped on the other ultimates because I wanted to make content, but grinding 9 hours for the ultimate Lepic just made it worth it. I'm like, dude, this is dope. Like, that gun you get, that, you know, when you're rolling your perks on your weapons and you're like, hey, I'm gonna go roll the weapons, you can roll these 4 stats, you know. So when you roll these 4 stats, you're like, man, I really need weak point damage, and then you finally get it and you're like, oh, like that's what got me on this game, and what really encouraged me to keep grinding was the chase. And, you know, grinding, I swear to you, I probably did close to 50 kills on Pyro to get this Glare sensor, and it just felt like, man, that's the itch I've been waiting for, to just grind it out. So stuff like that is just huge, and that's what's going to encourage you to keep playing the game and get ready for new content. There's tons of new content coming. 31st, we got new content, new Ultimate Valby, new character Luna, new Colossus fight, new weapons, more. At the end of August, we're going to get the first episode, get all this new stuff, and then in December, we're getting like a mega dungeon. So much more to just get ready for and grind. Boss fights. Let's talk about these boss fights. We all know that when you first start doing these boss fights, the game just tells you, this is another quality of life thing that could be added to the game. We all know that when you're doing these boss fights, let's use Dead Bride as an example. If you start it private, you're by yourself, your build might not be ready, or if you do public, you're going to match with 3 other players, and the game doesn't tell you that. I mean, it tells you when you launch in, it says, hey, this boss is scaled for 4 players, but maybe you don't want to 4-player it. Why can't you duo queue? Why can't you trio queue? I feel like stuff like that should happen simply because people don't want to make it hard on themselves. A lot of people came in the chat and they're like, Clyde, why are these bosses so hard? I'm like, go solo it. And they're like, I can't beat it solo. I'm like, okay, someone from chat join them. One person from my chat would join them and they'd be like, oh my God, that was so much easier. I'm like, yeah. So I get the matchmaking, but I don't understand the difficulty. But man, these boss fights are a lot of fun once you learn the mechanics, once you do them so many times. You know, maybe you're on hard mode Frostwalker right now. Go back and solo all the bosses before that, except Obstructor, because you need people. But just go and enjoy your build at its prime again. Go back to the normal bosses, one-shot them. Just be like, yeah, man, that feels good. I remember this boss, I got stuck for 2 hours, you know? The excitement of Endgame is there. Now let's talk about the story. Oh boy. Yeah, the campaign sucks. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, okay? The first 25 hours of the game, I felt like I was doing public events on every single area. I felt like I was just doing the same mission, plant the ball here, do this, scan this. It was rough, you know? Cutscenes, they were cool, but like I had no idea what was going on. I literally had to watch a lore video after I beat the game to find out what was going on in the story. But man, oh man, like I was just shocked. So yes, the game gets better. I know you're probably sitting here grinding through the story of the campaign. Fight through it. Make sure you're on, you get the bunny first 20 minutes into the campaign. So stay on bunny and just use through the campaign, or play whatever character you like. It's kind of up to you. But trust me, once you get past the campaign and you unlock hard mode, your build will just exceed, and you'll chase more weapons and you'll have more fun. Another debut change that they recently made in the latest update was to change the timers of these strategic outposts. Usually there'd have to be a 5-minute timer after you completed it, and it caused players to kind of spawn to another area and come back and try and reset the timer. Although I was grinding out these patterns today trying to get the 61s to drop, and as you see here, you need a successful infiltration. Usually you're getting like 10 in an hour or less when it was the 5-minute timer, and I feel like in this recent update of them resetting the clock to 1-minute cooldowns, I feel like it messed with the drops a little bit. I wonder if they'll like address this or not, but man, I was getting some very bad luck on these materials to drop. So another debut change, but I'd really like to know if them putting the cooldowns to a minute kind of affected the drop rates, because again, I just seen some differences here, because I did this same pattern to grind for ultimate Lepic, and I felt like I got it way faster when it was the 5-minute cooldowns. Even though these void shards aren't bad to farm, but needing certain characters to get more mounts, I feel like they should do something about these void shards. I know in the recent patch notes they said that they were going to buff some drop rates in certain missions, but yeah, I'm not seeing that. I feel like they just need to give people more ways to get them to drop, or buff the drop rates by like 2x, just simply because if you're going to hand in material that goes with this reactor, let's just say you have pattern 80 or 81 and you want to hand in 10 of them, you literally have to go get 350 void shards. You guys know it's not that bad to get that, but I feel like they should just make it so it's not less of a chore, so it encourages new players or veterans to have a better initiative to grind. So I feel like they're in a good spot with this. They just need to tweak it a little bit more. We'll be good to go. I just want to take some time and thank everybody. This is the first time I've done this in 8 years to where I've just fully sent on a different game. You guys have been killing it. The YouTube videos are insane right now. The stats are just juicing. I'm not afraid to just back out of Destiny and play other games now. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for supporting the videos. I didn't quit Destiny. I will play when there's more content. We're going to do everything possible to build a good community and get you guys set up for new content and keep pumping out these informational videos. Hopefully you guys like this kind of video. I just kind of wanted to talk about why I think the game's in a good place, maybe throw out some good ideas. Who knows, maybe I can throw it in the Discord and the devs can see it, because I was talking about some of these simple great ideas that I mentioned in the video that I think would do really good for the game. Can't wait to see you guys on the 31st though. This says it will be done at 5 in the morning at Pacific Standard Time, so 8 a.m. I'm gonna be grinding, going for ultimate Valby, getting Luna, getting the new boss kill, getting all the juice. I'll see you guys in chat. Thanks for watching.